Good evening, and welcome to Oxford by Night, a modern-day Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in the city of Oxford. Awakening for the night in this city is L'Entrée of the clan Tremere, played by Kendu. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor rest. Gain a hunger. Violet of the Nosferatu, played by Dark Scarlet. Please do a rouse check to arise from your torpor. You also gain a hunger. Paisley Graham of the clan Toreador, played by Love Machine from Soul Citizens. Please do a rouse check to awaken from your torpor slumber. Wonderful. The Coterie have arrived in Oxford. It has been 2 weeks since they completed their investigation in nearby Abingdon. While there, they witnessed a large explosion coming from Oxford and were told they had to enter the city and meet with the constable, who wishes to meet with them. As is the law of the Camarilla, they must first present themselves to the prince. To that end, they have entered the city and proceeded straight to the prince's domain in the old Bodleian library. Shabana, the prince's guard, escorts them in and stands watch over them as they await to be seen by the prince in a small, ancient room. Is there anything you wish to discuss before you proceed with your meeting of the prince?
I check how everyone looks, straighten them down.
There we go.
I'm just kind of standing quietly watching our guardian.
You'll notice that
I'm picking the lint off my outfit.
I assist.
You'll notice that Shabana is shifting her gaze evenly between all three of you. And moments later, Shabana opens the old wooden door and holds it open for each of the Coterie, deeply bowing, but keeping her head and eyes trained on the Kindred as they enter the book-filled room. As the last Coterie member enters, Shabana follows them in, and silently closes the door behind them all, before moving across the room, and standing behind is the prince, who is sat at her desk.
I would welcome you, but don't feel I extended any kind of invitation out of necessity. We're here for a reason, and due to protocol, you are presented to me first. I will allow you into the city, but be done with your business and move on. Some information you may or may not be aware of. Elysium was recently bombed. It's unknown who did it, but we do believe it was done by the Anarchs. They're using it as a call to battle the Camarilla. The current Elysium is being held in the Ashmolean Museum. Club 30s was opened fairly recently on a Hakata property, currently operating along the Botley Road, and acts as its own Elysium between the Anarch, Camarilla, and even other supernatural creatures. The Hakata themselves are the ones that enforce the Elysium rules here, and won't be as merciful as the Camarilla. This coterie break the rules, and you'll be expected to follow them. Oh, of note, this might be of interest to you, there's a disease based in the blood released into the general population. For the kind, they have no symptoms, but for the kindred, it could manifest in many ways. The illness is of a gawky origin, and is something you have already dispatched a coterie with experience to deal with, but you should be careful and wary on who you feed on. And just beware, blood supplies even in Elysium are running short. But you won't have much sightseeing to be done tonight anyway. The constable has a task for you. You should proceed straight there He is not a patient person. He awaits you in his office in the underground car park of the police station. Again, I shall allow you in my city, but don't think that whatever happens tonight that you have endeared yourself to me in any way. You may leave.
I bow.
Violet
and say,
curtsies.
Thank you, my prince.
Elantra bows and backs out.
Coterie leave the old Bodleian library, crossing across the relatively quiet city centre. Just change that. A few night buses, and only the odd homeless person can be seen. Even the homeless are wrapped up in blankets or cardboard, sleeping deeply, ignoring the undead walking the streets. Is there anything you wish to talk about on your walk across the city centre?
Well, the prince seems kind enough. I'm most happy to have met her.
It's lovely. I like that one.
I don't really seem to think our decorating tastes agree, but I won't disagree with you two.
A little bit concerned about the shortage of blood. We were warned to be careful on where we fed, but what does that mean?
Trust the blood around here. I should have asked.
Mm.
Perhaps the constable will know. That might be a good question to bring up over there.
Good plan.
Long as constable's a little bit more welcoming, I guess.
I wonder about this other coterie going after the disease. Are they of good stock?
Wonder what generation they are. Who their sire was. Maybe we should ask that too.
I wonder if they get along with the prince, because that'll answer everything I need to know.
So many questions. So many questions. Have to write it all down.
Coterie walk down along the street. On their side is one of the many sites belonging to Magdalen College. On the other side of the nearly deserted road are various shops and the odd pub. The streets remain void of any living souls. Eventually, the trio of Kindred walk into the underground vehicle depot of the Oxford police station. They train their eyes around the area and can see the door across the way. Their footsteps echo through the underground concrete depot, reverberating past the police cars. They walk across the concrete structure and reach the door to the office, cautiously opening it, and find sat behind a table is a large man, dressed in a slightly older style suit. Flanked on his right hand is a smaller, but still standing masked man. The suited man leans forward and gestures to a group of chairs in front of the desk and waits for them each to take a chair before finally speaking. Good evening, Kindred, and welcome to Oxford. No doubt by now you are wondering why you have been summoned here, and what you completed an initial trial for, correct?
Yes, sir.
The big boom?
This is tied into that, but not critical to that. You are being considered for the positions of Archons. Each of you has been granted a particular division that you are trialing for. You also each have something of a history of working together. Lantre, the usurper. You are being considered for the Quesitors. Traditionally, used to tend to all the Camarilla's sorceress needs, be it combating Koldun, mages, or even hunting rogue Tremere. In years gone by, it was a position held almost exclusively by the Tremere, but recently those of the Banu Hakim are more frequently chosen. Do you have any questions?
None at the moment. Thank you for this information, and I will do my best.
You will, or you will fail. Paisley, you'll be applying for a position within the Doppelgangers. Masters of disguise and subterfuge. Doppelgangers work deep, very deep cover operations. If you succeed, you will be placed under intense mental conditioning, so you will never break cover under questioning, torture, or even the powers of the blood. You will infiltrate our own ranks. You will become the Tower's unseen ears. Do you have any questions?
If I get any more budget advances, I've got more rooms to decorate now that you've put that position on me.
You would have to talk with your Justicar for that. Violet. Ah, yes. The most recent department of the Archons. Enigma, or E Division. The former Tremere Justicar Karl Schrecht envisioned a department specialized in the investigation of the paranormal and unidentified phenomena that may threaten the Camarilla. Schrecht was somewhat dismayed when the younger Kindred who actually organized and implemented his idea chose to name it E-Division, with some even calling it the X-Files. Some kind of pop culture reference, I believe. Do you have any questions?
Too many. Are there any other members?
There are many members of E-Division.
What are their names? What are their
I'm
clans?
I am not on personal terms with any of them.
Oh.
One of you is currently absent, I gather. A Banu Hakim. He is being considered for the position of a Laster, a hunter of hunters. Their sole purpose is to hunt and destroy the anathema. Those who are considered so dangerous they have been placed under the red list and have been targeted for destruction by the entire Camarilla. I shall leave it to you to deliver the news to him when he has returned to your fold. Is that acceptable?
Sure. I can take care of that.
For now, and however long it takes for you to complete your task, you are all praetors. You are not Archons yet, but this title will afford you some sway, though you must still obey the rules as all other kindred do in this city. Now, to your task. You have arrived here at an interesting time. The Anarch movement has become far more hostile since the Elysium incident. You have been assigned a relatively simple task. Go to the wreckage of Elysium and discover who is responsible for this atrocity, and destroy them. We have had agents in place to keep prying mortal eyes out of the location. Discover who committed this act of war, follow up any leads, and find those responsible. Determine if this is an act of aggression by the Anarchs. Find out how Elysium was destroyed. Our Mon here will accompany you on your investigation. He is a silent observer, and will only provide you with direct assistance in an emergency. And for the record, L'Entrée, an emergency doesn't mean you need to change your robes or whatever it is your clan wears. A car has been provided for you should you need it. Here are the keys. And he slides a set of keys across the table at you. You'll find the car outside parked by the bus stop. Any questions?
I have a question of a somewhat important nature. What's going on with the blood around here?
There is some sort of blood disease As far as I understand, it has been placed there by the Gaki and is of supernatural origin. It is nothing for you to be concerned about aside from being careful who you feed upon.
Who is safe to feed upon? You know, is it just placed upon the lower echelon? You should just avoid feeding upon beggars or avoid
It is a
clubs. What does
risk.
that mean?
It is a risk if you feed upon anyone. It does not affect the kine, only the kindred. It is impossible to tell whose blood has been infected until you have eaten from them.
How long has this been about? Can we do blood bags or anything like that to remain safe, or are old supplies short?
Blood bags will only last a certain amount of time. Shortages are unfortunately quite common in the city. Even Elysium has been affected and will only offer you one drink on the house.
It's good information, thank you. Appreciate it.
Who's in charge of the blood at Elysium?
The Keeper of Elysium. It is an honorary title these days, granted to a Tremere named Dr. Walter Boyer, though you will never find him.
See?
The prince mentioned, there's a coterie currently investigating your blood problem. Can we know anything about them?
It is not my place to discuss the prince's business, and it is awkward for you to ask such boons of me. I can tell you they are a coterie of Ancilla, similar to yourselves in that regard, and have been dispatched directly to Japan.
All right, thank you.
Is there anything else you wish to know? Perhaps the prince's touchstone?
If you're willing to share.
That was sarcasm, usurper.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. Please forgive me.
I hope your wit would serve you well in your coming investigation.
It's been a
Don't
pleasure to
worry.
meet you.
That's why we're here. He's got all the robes.
Fair assessment. You would do wise listening to your Toreador and your Nosferatu, usurper. Your clan has a colourful history in this country, particularly in this city.
Ah, yes, everyone hates my clan, but they don't know me, but I guess I'm hated anyway.
Thieves often are.
Kindred often are.
Violet, you looked like you had something to say.
He's not hated by us.
Not yet, anyway. I shall leave you
take
in
the
Amon's
keys.
care.
Is him on the caretaker guy that's going to follow us around silently?
Trio head out onto the streets and find an unassuming hatchback black car waiting outside that wasn't there when they arrived. They each get into the car and proceed on their way, with the masked figure sitting in the front seat next to whoever it is that is driving. Is there anything you wish to discuss en route?
Now, Elantra, I really do like your robes. They remind me of something from those Persian cultures, the Far Oriental. But you can't say that anymore, I guess. It was more popular back in the 30s. I'll show you some books about it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad someone likes it, and I do appreciate you standing up for me back there. You didn't have to put your neck out. It means a lot, and I won't forget it.
That's why nobody likes you. You've got to stand up for yourself. Nobody would like you if you're just the underdog. You've got to beef them up. Right, Scarlet? Violet? Oh, goodness. I was colorblind in life.
Your family, Lantry. If anyone says anything different, I'll punch them in the face.
Well, thank you. I will do my best to stand up for myself, per your advice, but it might not be so easy, but we'll see what ended up happening. You know, seemed to be a lot of not safe time to be a Tremere, but it doesn't make it any less fun.
You can also question the masked man.
You all seem like a promising group.
I like your mask. Can I touch it?
I'd prefer you not.
A little bit.
Reaches
just
forward and is
groans
going to
as-
touch it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just groans as you inevitably just reach out and touch it. Maybe I spoke too soon. So what all have you been told about tonight's excursion?
Basically we're being tested. Elysium was blown up by some lunatic. We kind of need to find out who did it. And the prince isn't all that happy having us here. I think that basically sums it up.
I don't think the prince is ever happy when anybody's here. But good to know that you're at least on the level, so...
Did we get the name of our masked figure, or do we still not know his name?
I mean,
To our storyteller.
it's Amon. I'm pretty sure Sheriff said, the constable said that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wasn't sure. Well, thank you for being willing to come along with us. We'll do our best to get this figured out as quickly as we can.
It's no worries. After breaking apart from my my own coterie, has been my job lately to make sure that new guys around here are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Sounds like an intriguing story. Well, at the very least, we'll do our absolute best to remain on the prince's good side, if that's what you would call it.
Sounds good to me.
The awkward car journey, made awkward suddenly by the appearance of Armon, who just has that kind of air, comes to a stop outside the rubble of Elysium, formerly Carfax Tower. Yellow tape surrounds the wreckage, and several police officers stand guard either side of the markings. The Coterie and Armon exit their vehicle and approach the site.
Well, whoever did it right. Okay.
I'd like to look around to see if there are any cameras.
Wits and
that
awareness
could
for
have
me,
seen what
please.
happened. So there's awareness and then wits, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I remembered a thing. Boop.
Sticking with it?
Yeah.
You look around the dark street. As far as you can tell, there are no CCTV cameras trained on the site, but you can't know that for sure.
What is the scene in front of us? Is it just like black pitch or smoldering remains, or was it like there was
It's
like
a
a shockwave
huge,
and
great
things
big
had
pile of rubble.
pile of rubble? Okay, well I would like to dig through the rubble and construction materials and try to find any type of trinket left by somebody.
I'll assist with the brute force moving of large things as well.
Wits and awareness with a +1 modifier from the assist. That's Paisley, sorry.
Wits plus awareness. Okay.
Or would you prefer intelligence and investigation?
I would prefer intelligence investigation.
Intelligence and investigation with a +1 modifier. Paisley wanders around the scene, moving pieces of debris. As she does so, she starts to piece together what was once Carfax Tower in her mind. She notices the amount of debris seems lacking considering the size of the tower that once stood there. It's like the debris has fallen into something underneath the building that is hidden.
Are you sharing that with us, or?
Yes. I don't know if we could do this on our own. We might need tools.
Would I be able to look around for the entrance that seems to be eluding us right now?
If there was an emergency exit from the underground, that would be a place to look as well.
Oh, is it perhaps not so close to here?
Who knows?
You mentioned that there were officers. How close are they? Do
They are
see
literally
us or
right
notice us?
on the outside of the debris, with the yellow tape behind them and the wreckage directly behind that.
Okay, so we need to get past them. All right, so
No, they're fine.
Oh, okay. Well, we seem to be looking for some underground place where all this debris disappeared to, but we're having trouble finding it. Can I hold my own investigation, see if I can see anything that lends credence to it?
I don't think you need to roll for that. I think your character would have enough common sense to turn to Armon and say, "The fuck? Was there something underneath this building?"
Fair enough. Dear shrouded stranger, is there something we're missing here? We're missing some debris, so where would it have gone? Do you know?
You were informed that there was a bombing. Were you not informed of where?
We were told it was Elysium, but we don't know the specifics of it.
Well, they're not just going to put Elysium above ground, and I'm going to go over to where I know the hatch is at.
Yeah, you'd be able to place whereabouts the hatch was at, the secret door that led down. And you'll find pieces of ruined iron staircase mixed in with old stone and steel work. Because even astrolite doesn't melt steel beams.
And you guys good at rock climbing, and I'll head down the what's left of the staircase.
I follow.
I'm
Guess we're all
hesitant.
going down?
That's gonna get So much dust on this ensemble, but whatever it takes. It's
You
always
picture
dirty
my
business.
robes.
It's always dirty business with these vampire problems of ours, isn't it?
I mean, seriously, it's like we're just here to clean up after. You know, it's okay, it's fine. I'm just gonna have to get a new set of robes. You know what it's like going. I hate rock climbing in robes.
The Coterie and Archon head down to the ruined section of Elysium, finding most of it caved in and filled with the remainder of the debris. Just looking around, they realise it is all sunken in here. The remains of what would have been a bar can be seen.
This looks to have been a lovely place.
It was.
Getting out.
So, come on. Do you by any chance have any suspicions as to what might have happened here? You know, you seem to know your way around. You know, we're kind of fumbling in the dark here, literally.
I mean, of all the anarchs, there's many suspects, but no one in the Camarillas for sure right now who is definitely. There's too many suspects, to be honest.
That's a bit unfortunate, but I mean, I guess it makes sense, right?
Trust me, with the Camarilla, you kind of get used to it.
Fair enough. I'd like to look around if possible, see if I see anything.
Would you prefer wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
Wits and awareness, please.
Do wits and awareness for me, please. Wonderful. That's fine. L'Entrée dives in to the debris, moving small sections that he can, here and there out of the way. Among the pieces of rubble and stone, he starts to come across metal, steel sheets, and several pieces of plastic, finding enough to see that they are from some kind of container. Judging by the burn marks, it likely held explosive.
Well, it looks like whomever it was took the bomb right in the middle of the place. So it would have been someone I think who was. Sorry?
No, go ahead, finish.
I was just gonna say, I'm wondering if maybe it was someone that was welcome into Elysium. So I'm not quite sure what that might tell us. Did that tell you anything, Amon?
May I take a look at the container that you found?
Oh,
Bloody
yeah,
Tremere.
yes, of course, of course.
Would you prefer wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation, Archon?
Oh, you know I'm a wits and awareness kind of guy.
Okay. Do you remember how to roll?
I think so.
Wonderful. Archon holds up the broken piece of container, realizing it's the bottom section of a milk bottle. Inside, he finds small white crystallized blocks of an almost sticky, powdery substance stuck to the insides of the scorched plastic bottle.
Oh, man. With as well as he placed this thing, whoever did this clearly let this stuff sit around too long. See how it kind of pulls up at the bottom, and I take it and I tilt it upside down and I try and tap the bottle, but the chunk that's stuck in the bottom doesn't come out. This is what happens when you let astrolite sit around too long on a shelf before you finally use it.
Hesitation, perhaps?
Either that or waiting for something.
Has anyone heard anything that's... Did... You know what? The blood thing. Did that happen before or after this? This whole explosion thing?
You need a reminder
I'm sorry,
from
are
your
you
previous game. It happened way before, Armon.
I wasn't sure who he was asking. My apologies.
Oh, sorry.
The blood disease had been going around for quite some time before this happened. I think my group, in fact, was asked to investigate it a tiny bit, but we were very busy with other pressing matters, so we never got around to it.
And then I'll just turn to my companions. Any ideas? Have either of you heard anything on the winds that might have preempted this?
Have we heard anything?
There's no rabble-rousers like that in my club.
Violet, wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation?
Ooh. Intelligence.
Okay, do intelligence and investigation for me, please.
Boop.
Would you like to stick with it?
Yes.
Violet casts her keen eye around the scene, desperately fumbling at something as she noticed a small section of a broken windscreen wiper, but is unable to find anything from the small section that she is able to uncover, but is convinced that there is something there to be found.
She's frustrated and is clicking. No. Just clicking.
What's the matter, dear Violet?
Thinking I can't place it together. There's...
I show everyone.
What are you saying? Oh, okay.
Oh, quite curious. From an automobile in here? I don't think that would have matched the decor.
Am I able to see if I can discern anything from it, or?
I can. Give it here. I'll use
Okay.
Spirit's Touch.
Goody, goody.
Ooh, that is not the right dice. Apologies. We're in rubble, so I'm pretty sure I'd be a little, perturbed by that. That's me trying to give myself a negative modifier. Alright, fine.
Shit.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's negative.
Wasn't expecting that. Hold on. You will the vitae around your body and begin to feel the emotional resonance of a windscreen wiper. A surge of anger, hatred, vengeance, mixed in with satisfaction. Finally, after all these years, you can get some satisfaction.
Anger, hatred, vengeance. That's all pretty on par with blowing up a building. But vengeance against who? Or what?
I mean, I guess if it's against the Camarilla as a whole, you know, but that really doesn't tell us anything.
The
I can't
notion,
slow
though.
it.
I tossed the dusty thing back to Violet.
Okay.
What about Bruja? Armand? Bruja! Are they in the Onyx? Here?
Yeah, the majority of them are.
Any names?
I think I've only been to the Bourgeois domain once or twice. God, am I terrible with names, but I know a couple of them, yeah.
Stand
I'm sorry.
any that stand out?
None that I could think of that could do this. To this extreme.
Yeah, this seems to have required planning and thinking. I have, dear storyteller, for the life of me, my memory is just awful. We got a
Yes,
couple
babe.
names from the prince. The prince gave us a couple names. I have no idea who they are, where they were, anything about it. Would any of those have given any direction from here, please?
No.
Ah, thought I'd try. Why do you look so happy when you say no?
I know this is a crazy, crazy idea, but have you thought of investigating the scene one more time?
Oh, can I try investigating the scene one more time, please?
That's a bloody good idea. Could you do intelligence investigation for me, please? I don't know how you thought of that.
Can I
Can I
assist?
help? Oh.
All
Yeah.
assist.
You all want to assist? Okay, take a +3 modifier, because he's probably going to need it, because he's only Tremere.
I mean,
Oh,
is there
man,
any way
Masquerade.
that I can use wits and awareness instead of intelligence
You
investigation?
could certainly use
Maybe?
wits and awareness if you prefer, with a +3 modifier.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fastcart.
Oh my goodness.
All those dice, and he still only gets 4 successes, and he wonders why Tremere
is-
Well, it's
hated.
still pretty good.
I know,
It's,
right? Can I
it's
reroll?
enough. It's enough. It's enough.
Okay.
But still, you
Yeah.
know, what is that? 7, 8, 10 dice, 4 successes, 40%
Well,
success rate.
I guess I should just go back to spitting on whites, because that goes a lot better, apparently. So.
Apparently,
Spit on everything.
dated
Alright.
girls like that. You search around the rubble in the area that the windscreen wiper was found, finally uncovering a mangled, heavily burned body. The legs and an arm are missing. No, it's not you, Nitro. Only half of the charred head remains, but 2 fangs are clearly visible, one in the upper set of teeth and another in the lower set. The remains of a driver's license remain on the body. The name Edwin Trujillo is just about visible.
Well, you asked about those Bourgeois I knew about. That's one of them.
No, good call. Do you recognize this name, Emon? Like, I mean, obviously you know, but would you know any acquaintances or anything? Because we're not going to get much off of this guy.
I mean, I carried his torpored corpse around a few times, but I didn't know the guy personally.
Oh, you'll have to tell me that story sometime.
I mean, like I said, this bombing doesn't describe the motive or usual operation of anybody that I typically know, but with the few Bourgeois that I do know, this was, well, emphasis on was. This guy was the sire of one that I also knew. But this guy also had a crap ton of enemies, so.
Desire.
Do you know anybody by the name of Xavier Long?
I don't recognize that name.
Do any of us recognize that name? Do we have to roll for that?
Nope.
Xavier Long. Where can we find that one?
Oh, Violet,
No
dear, you can't
idea.
find something on that ruddy phone of yours. It's so good at doing that sometimes.
Yes, yes. Let's Google. Xavier
Google.
Long. See what we come up with. Frugal. Yes. See if maybe a club or something. I don't know. Something. Maybe?
Yeah, the goggles. Yeah, that one. Goggle it, Violet.
Okay.
Boop. You heard me.
I heard you. I heard you. Your boop brings up very unsavory sites containing the word Long, but nothing specifically about Xavier Long.
Violet, you need to turn safe search on in the future.
But look at that one.
What?
I'm not surprised you didn't find him. He's been off the radar for quite some time now. I don't even know where the guy's at. I did expect you to at least find something, though. I know you Nosferatu are a scrappy bunch. But I knew this guy pretty well. He's an asshole, but as much as I think all the things are pointing towards him, I can't picture him doing... I can kind of picture... No, I can't picture him doing something like this.
Okay, so back to ground zero. Huh.
Why, I think he's
wouldn't
the best place to start. You would know who his enemies were. And maybe what he was doing here at the time. That's important, too. You said he was still torpored?
Well, I mean, last time I saw him, I can't remember how long it's been since that happened and the explosion happened, but the last time I saw this guy, he was being passed around by a bunch of Camarilla higher-ups. I don't remember exactly why, though. There was a... like I said, we picked him up at one point, and then I guess a few weeks later this happened, so between then and now, I have no idea, unfortunately. Anyway, I was told that you guys needed to go to the Ashmolean Museum for your next assignment, part of your assignment.
I mean, we're not getting anything
'Cause-
here, so...
Yeah,
Check your
well,
Discord, Nitro.
even though not a lot of new information come out, I should still go fill in the constable on what we found here. So I'll let you guys get on your way and help you figure out what happens.
Hey, thanks for the help, and I still want to hear some of your stories sometime. They sound fascinating, and hopefully we'll run across each other again.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I haven't always been on the best terms with the Tremere, but you don't seem too bad.
Everybody hates me before they know me.
Can't say Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just how it is around here. Trust me, I know a lot of people that don't like Tremere. You all are useful at times, though, so I don't mind you as much.
Well, I mean, at least I'm useful. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
There you go,
Good luck with
Lautry.
your
There's
evening.
some edge. Now keep sharpening that.
Coterie heading back to the car as Armon makes his way back to the constable.
I'm just gonna whisper to the two of them and be like, that's the nicest any Kindred has been to me since, like, ever.
You should have asked for his number.
But no, no. Let's go bug the constable if we need to get in touch with him again, yeah?
Yeah,
He seemed
tell
to
him you
like
want
us
to
a
buy
lot.
him on a drink sometime.
I know, right? Ugh. Sure, the constable will be up for it. Fun bunch. I guess we're heading off to the museum or something. You know, does that sound agreeable to both of you?
Sure.
Amon splits away from the coterie as they each head back into the black hatchback car. I would imagine that Violet is probably driving it, being the most capable. Is there
Is
anything you
she
wish?
though?
We're like 900 miles an hour.
Funny thing is using a car around Oxford, to be honest with you. Is there anything you wish to discuss on your inexplicably long journey, half a mile if that, to the Ashmolean Museum?
Dear Paisley, I know I had to ask you for some knives last time, but the next chance we get, how hard would it be to get some silver? I kind of need some silver dust.
Oh, it's so difficult. Silver's out. All the kids wear rose gold. We don't have anything to melt down.
Shoot. Okay, well, if we could look into that, you know, I think it could be useful.
All that damn jewelry from Instagram. I don't know what these kids are going to do with it. It's all garbage. You can't do anything useful with it.
I mean, we don't have it, but there's probably some store around here that has it on display. Oh, darn cameras. Okay, never mind. Well, at some point we'll have to look into it.
Always ask my ghoul.
Yeah? Yeah? I could just really use some silver.
You'd look pretty in silver.
No, I just need dust. I need like some silver dust. It's for a ritual.
Car journey carries on, with Violet and Landre whispering to each other, for a ritual, silver dust, for a ritual, gimp. Until finally... I didn't. Arriving outside the Ashmolean Museum. They park up the car and each exit outside. Their feet make pleasing small clunk noises on the stone steps as they walk up the grand, wide stairway and walk among the stone pillars, approaching the tall wooden doors that mark the entrance to the museum. Either side of the doorway are two large, overbearing men. As the coterie begin to enter into their vision, their field of view, that would be better, two men block their way, eyeing up the coterie before shaking their heads and giving a subtle nod to the wall on the side. Paisley, Lantray, sense the unseen, please.
Okay. Ooh, sorry about that. I don't think it's aroused. I just clicked the wrong thing again.
Yeah.
Button. Who's got the button?
My rolls have been awful.
Would you like to stick
Well,
with
that's a
that
lot of
lunch?
dice.
Would you like
You
to
turned
stick
into a
with that
werewolf.
I'll do a willpower reroll, please.
The WP reroll button underneath the willpower tracker.
I mean, are you freaking serious? Okay.
That is still a bestial failure.
And old man Tremblay does not like you tonight, dude.
I know, seriously, right? Like, what is this?
Let's not be too easy on you tonight. The Coterie's heads are turned to the wall. Paisley, with her vampiric senses, immediately notices a door that is phasing in and out. It is just about seen by her, but it has no handle, and she can see a small plaque embedded onto the wall, bearing the shape of a hand. As Lantre casts his gaze over, though, the beast inside of his head screams up. He can no longer use teamwork, and performs any actions that avoids establishing dominance or challenging authority at a 2 dice penalty to his pools. This compulsion ends when Lantre has won and gloated over it. You are suffering from the dominance. But Nitro has kindly given you a reroll, if you would, Lantre.
Thank you. And I just push.
Nitro.
Which button do
Use-
I push? Do I push reroll on the one that reads the beast?
On your very first roll, go with the
Okay.
reroll.
Just the one that's the pink one, yeah?
2 rolls back. The one that actually says the beast.
There we go.
Fine. You two see the door fading in and out with the plaque bearing the shape of a hand next to it.
A hat or a hand?
Hand.
Tiny hat.
An and. We're outside, so like these guards are looking at us.
Mm-hmm. They've just given you that.
Hmm.
I'm just standing there getting in their faces.
Yeah, I'll give Lotcha the eyes to investigate the wall. While Violet and I hang out with the guards.
Well, didn't the guards point us toward the wall?
Shut up and let them flirt with the guards!
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing then, Lantre?
I don't know. I mean, okay, I have a question then.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. So, I've got a speciality in research and academics. Would that work for anything here? Or is it like a roll that I can do to see if I can figure out what it is?
I mean, I don't even think you need to roll for this. This is... I think, given your experience, you would see door without a handle, plaque in the shape of a hand, and go, well, I'm just going to put my hand there.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hand on the door.
You place your cold hand neatly inside the groove. The feeling of heat envelops your hand, and a moment later, it is impaled by a spike that clangs out of a panel. Do a rouse check for me, please. Wonderful. You do not lose a substantial amount of blood, but you notice the door drops down silently, revealing an iron-cast spiral staircase leading down.
And I'll start walking that way with Violet while saying, well, that still didn't answer my question of if it's Cambridge or Cambridge, but whatever you say, fellas.
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Not very good at rowing.
And poor Violet's not even gonna see the door, right? So she's just gonna be pulled right into a wall, for what
Well,
she
when
can
it's-
tell, right?
When it drops down, it's...
Oh, okay.
The Coterie proceed down the stairs into the unknown. As they step off the staircase, are met by a vile-looking man, clearly one of the Nosferatu, no offence. He hisses at them. Leave any weapons you have here. They shall be returned as you exit. One of the deputies is in charge of holding Elysium this night.
I hand over my Glock.
I'll take out my little letter opener. Is this considered a weapon?
Yes.
What am I going to do with this, though?
There are many things you could do with a pointed weapon. Just don't argue the case, or you can argue it with the deputy.
Okay, very well. Here you go.
I hand over my cricket bat, but I click in his direction.
What's your name?
For the moment, I am simply the doorkeeper.
Doorkeeper?
And you?
Violet.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Violet. Please
Friend now.
proceed. Please proceed in and enjoy the night. The Coterie step into the floor of the new Elysium. There are a few scattered kindred sat at tables, all talking to each other. The biggest table is taken by a group of Nosferatu, all skulking together deep in conversation. An empty bar runs along a side wall, and a set of booths are against an opposite wall. Only one is occupied, sat at which is an elegant-looking woman bathed in a scarlet light. In an opposite dark corner, hidden in the shadows, is a man in a dark suit, sat reading a book. Overlooking it all is a fearsome, almost feral-looking man that holds a sword threateningly in front of him. Who would you like to approach?
I whisper to the other two.
Did he get a sword? It's not fair.
And perhaps maybe he's the deputy, you know? So he makes the rules, he doesn't have to follow them. I mean, we're here on the prince's business and we can't even keep our weapons. I wonder how that works out. Well, who do you want to talk to? I mean, you could talk to the guy in the shadows, or the guy who looks like he wants to cut our heads off, but I don't know, maybe the guy in the shadows to see if the guy will actually cut our heads off?
Such violent thoughts, Laudry. And you forget the dame over there in the corner.
I suspect she would hate me anyway, so if you want to talk to her.
Sure.
Do we recognize anyone, or do they all new faces?
These are all new faces.
Okay.
Well, let's talk to the dame. I'll stay back if you want to take front, Paisley or Violet.
I just go on ahead wordlessly. And since she's sitting at a booth, I'll just ask. Saving the seat for anyone, darling?
Anyone that brings my interest? Such fashion, please. Join me. Your companions, too, if you so wish.
Oh, sure, they're quite charming. Come on, sit down.
You must be new to the city. Who are you all?
Oh, well, we're merely here on some business. We're not staying for a very long time. But I am Paisley Graham. You might know me from the club Silk. It's a really hot club. You should come down sometime. Lots of treats and delights for our persuasion of folk.
I shall consider it. The other two?
I'm Lantry, pleased to make your acquaintance. Nothing really special about me.
An interesting introduction. And your final companion?
To meet you.
I just got, it's me.
It's me, Violet. Little curtsy.
I am Pandora. I am the harpy of this city. If there is anything worth going on in this city, I am the one that knows about it.
Well,
You
then you
doing
might
the
be able to help
rounds?
us find our man.
Finding a man? How dull.
Well, our man. You know.
What would be in it for me to assist you?
Well, I think favor with some newly minted Archons wouldn't be too bad, would it?
Show me your hands.
Like our palms or the back of our hands?
Palms. Everyone going for palms?
Yeah, I take off my silk glove and give her my right palm.
You are no Archon. You bear not the mark of the beast.
Well, that's why I said newly minted. Well, not quite there yet. That's why we're here on business.
Ah, your damned praetors. Very well. What do you wish to know?
Anything about Edwin Trujillo or Xavier Long? Did you know either
Xavier
of them?
Long. I was shadow to his coterie. Why would you wish to know about him? He's an anarch.
Because someone toasted his cider in a basement. That's good enough, right?
He was enthusiastic about bringing an end to his sire. Does this tie in with the Elysium incident?
Anybody else want to say
Maybe.
anything? Or just
Yeah,
not?
maybe, we don't know yet, but we're thinking it might.
He was hot-headed, shall we say. Though going from being hot-headed, wishing to end his sire, to blowing up Elysium is quite a leap. Not to mention he knew that I would be there as well, and I'm sure he would think twice before blowing me up.
That's a good point. So, do you have any ideas where his sire might be then?
I'm gonna interrupt laundry. So you said you were there that night?
I was not present in Elysium at the time of the bombing, fortunately for myself and the city. Many were, though. Sadly, not the La Sombra. But what do you know of the other major players of the city? I can give you a rundown of the others if you wish to know. Violet, for instance, you look like you have something on your mind.
Would I know who the major players are?
You might have heard rumours. Maybe the odd name here and there. No major details, though. And certainly not first-hand accounts.
Violet's just sitting there thinking then she won't be rude enough to interrupt a Rose speaking.
Let's see. Lance is something of a militant. Fancies himself the next Lenin. Though he is unlikely to have done such a brazen open act himself, it is far more his style to have someone beneath him commit the act in his name. The Anarch Bruja are always in Slade Park, preaching their heresy to the Thin Bloods and the other Anarch Bruja. Voldris is another that prefers to use the strength of others to fight for her. She makes use of her assets to seduce the feeble-minded to her bidding, though this would be a strangely open act on her part also. Ashmarrow and his pathetic kingdom of hoodlums and thugs he rules over. His tiny kingdom with his single child in the south of the city. His haven is just off Lambourne Road. His child's in Herschel Crescent. Such a brazen act would be well within his capability to do both physically and as an act of hostility. Anarch Ventrue are so distasteful, like they have something to prove. And finally, the Ministry. They recently appeared on the scene. Their numbers are unknown, and their purpose equally mysterious. Wherever they go, they bring with them attention and never do things quietly. Finding them is the big problem, however. They make companions of the downtrodden, the lost, and the easily misled. And driving them out would also be a great service to the Camarilla. Perhaps, now that I have scratched your back, you'd be willing to do something for me and the city as a whole?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me to scratch your back.
No, I have a queue of men lined up for that. Seeing as how you are praetors after all, there have been murmurings among the kind that within Port Meadow, after dark, is a monster. One that bites you and addles with your mind and memory. Obviously, we know what this is. A caitiff, somehow existing under our radar, and far too close to the Camarilla domain. We are unable to send the Scourge in to deal with this act at the moment, and it needs to be dealt with as a matter of urgency, and it would seem most fitting for your coterie to deal with this. Do be careful, though. The residents aren't on friendly terms with us. So is this all?
Anyone else have any other questions?
If I might be so bold, the one with the sword over there, who is he?
That is one of the deputies.
Didn't seem so friendly.
What would be the point of having a friendly deputy?
Fair enough. Thank you for your very gracious help this night, and we will, be sure to take a look at the problem over on the caitiff.
Good. If you wish to have a drink, please tell them Pandora said it's okay. Now, if there is nothing else, please fuck off.
Charmed. See you around.
Elantre will smile at that and just stand up and bow. Let's go talk to the guy in the shadows.
Drink that.
Okay, I'm gonna save my drink actually for maybe a later date when I could use it more. But do you think that would be all right, or do you think she only meant for tonight?
Oh goodness, ask the bartender.
Oh, fine.
So who's going over to the bar?
We all will,
Me.
probably. And yeah,
Okay.
and an awkward gaggle of 21-year-olds.
You each take a seat at the bar, and the barman heads over, cleaning a glass. What's your pleasure?
Pandora sent us.
Ah, I see. Do you have any ID? Sorry, that's a running joke here. You're all at least 50 years old. He'll reach under the bar and bring out a crystal tumbler each, a decanter of blood, and fill each tumbler in front of you. Enjoy. We can guarantee any blood that is consumed here is safe, but it is limited. You will get one free drink.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Excellent pour.
Those of you who are consuming, you may each slake one hunger, but do not go below one.
I guess I'll do it as well, just because I don't want to offend Pandora.
Don't ever offend Pandora.
Pretty much it, yeah.
I will try to cash in that back scratching later, but yeah.
I'll just like raise my glass, and if she happens to be looking our direction, just tip the glass in her direction as a thank you.
Oh, she's not looking, Laundry, please. It's pathetic.
I mean, come on! I don't want her to know I'm Tremere for as long as possible.
Would you all
You
like
look
to
like
do?
a genie, will you please?
Oh, fine, okay.
Every time Lantre uses a discipline, I'm just going to picture him wiggling his nose now.
Doo-doo.
What would you care to do now that you've consumed your drink, or still nursing it?
I mean, I guess we got to speak to one of those two at some point. Do either of you have a preference?
I thought you wanted to talk to the man in the dark suit.
Well, I just rather I don't want to talk to the man brandishing a short sword, frankly. But either or.
I'd like to speak to the nurse.
Nurse? Tell me more. What nurse?
Lost.
Oh,
Unless they're nurses.
they might be from now on.
Done.
If you want to go speak to the spoopy fellow, I'll guard you.
Alright, let's just get this over with.
You approach the man in the shadows, reading a book. He gives a deliberate, heavy sigh. You know it's deliberate because Kindred don't breathe. He closes his book. The Hobbit.
What book is he reading? Oh,
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
And looks up at you.
Didn't you see that movie? It was back in the 80s. It spoiled everything. It wasn't really that good.
I don't bother with movies. Books are about my limit. Is there a reason you've
Yeah.
approached me?
Greetings. Good book you have there. I always enjoy out of the frying pan into the fire myself.
Well, you are Tremere. What is to be expected?
We were hoping we might ask upon your hospitality for a moment. We are investigating Current issues over at Elysium. At the previous Elysium, rather.
Hospitality. Take a seat.
Just thank you and just take a seat and sit down. I'll just make sure that Paisley and Violet are seated first.
Violet sits.
Paisley sits.
Well, are we just to stare at each other like idiots across the table, or do you have a point for being here?
Xavier Long, do you know anything about him?
Xavier Long. I've had some encounters. Why?
We found the body of his sire in the remains, the wreckage of the previous Elysium.
And was his body also with it?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. What was that?
Was Xavier's body also with it?
Oh no, we just found his sire.
Intriguing.
Mr. Trujillo.
Mr. Trujillo.
He'd always made
Thank
a
you.
point that he wanted to dispose of his sire. I imagined he'd do it in some grand fashion that took him out with it. He cared not for this pleasurable unlife we have and enjoy now.
Do you know why he wanted to off him so badly?
Xavier was turned against his will. His sire... God, I've got to try and remember now. His sire killed his child in the encounter, leaving only his wife to survive him. He cared not for the structure the Camarilla provides, and sided with the Anarchs. A very unwise decision.
You seem to know something of this Xavier. Is he capable of this, do you think?
Anyone could be capable of anything given enough provocation.
Keep that in mind. Okay. Have you heard anything about his whereabouts by any chance?
Xavier? An Anarch? No. Why would I waste my time with such feeble messes?
A good point.
Is he lying?
Do for me. Should have had his sheet ready, but I didn't. Wits and insight. I guess this is going to be against his charisma
Yeah.
and persuasion.
I'm rolling rubbish.
I'm not rolling much better, but enough. You can re-roll if you'd like. You can re-roll the 4.
No, it's not that important yet. Save my rerolls. But I'm intently looking right in his face.
As you look into his face, you will see that his pupils are completely black. I mean, his irises are completely black. You'll realize, given your experience, he is La Sombra.
I seem mesmerised by the black. I'm just staring at it.
That's the name of Fastcast sex tape. Mesmerized by the black.
Sounds like a cool band name.
Is there anything else?
You seem to have me at disadvantage. Seems you know who I am, but, I don't know who you are. May I catch your name?
Of course I know who you are. I can smell the stench of blood sorcery all over you. I am
Any tips on
Lorvan.
how to...
Sorry.
Sorry, would I know who Lorvan is?
No.
Okay.
Violet clicks angrily, and he's rude.
Violet, no clicking at the table.
Well, thank you for your, hospitality.
Yes. Should you need of anything else, go to someone else.
I'm just gonna kind of like stare at him for a moment, and then be like, "Are you sure you couldn't have another chat sometime? Perhaps about a book?"
I don't think there would be much of an overlap between our literature.
I mean, perhaps not. You never know. You seem like such a friendly sort. Ooh.
As you say that, you notice the shadows around him begin to move out of sync and grab your glass off the table, shattering it into pieces.
That was from Pandora.
Imagine what I could do to your skull if you annoy me.
All right, let's go let him read Cat in the Hat or something. Come on, let's go.
Thank you for the demonstration. I'll keep it in mind, and I'll just stand with the bow.
You'll notice
It
as
takes
the
Violet
three,
a long moment before she gets up, and she clicks angrily in his face.
and you'll notice as the three of you walk away from Lorvan that the deputy has left his post and is walking angrily towards Lorvan.
I'm just gonna kind of step back and see what happens, because we gotta talk to him anyway.
You wouldn't be able to pick up much in the way of details, but you can see that the deputy is particularly angry and attempting to admonish Lorvan, who has just sat there with a small smile on his face.
I'm just waiting until they're done talking. I do not want to interrupt at this point.
Yeah, that'll be going on in the background and eventually wind down and finish with the deputy giving a small growl at Lorvan before walking back to his podium and overlooking Elysium.
I was like whisper to Paisley and Violet, "Do you think it's a good idea to go talk to him?"
Yes, just don't use any disciplines.
I think you're right. I'm glad we left the weapons outside.
Oh, don't worry. I'll eat Lorvan for you one day. I promise.
It'll be most fun. Won't wait. I guess we'll go over to the deputy or something.
Okay. You walk over to the deputy and can't help but notice that he is much, much larger than you first thought as you close in on him. He looks down at you and you see clawed hands grasping a particularly large great sword he holds in front of him. He grunts out a yes.
I'm just gonna see if either Paisley or Violet want to take point on this one.
Typical Tremere, set
Caused
everyone
enough
else
problems.
up, and then when it comes to it, you're on your own.
Hey, Violet stands up then.
Hi. I like your sword.
Good.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
Xavier Long. Do you know him?
No.
Gangrel.
One of the few.
Why are few? I like Gangrel.
The pack left the tower. I chose to stay.
You're a smart one.
Goes to tap his arm.
Yeah, alright. He'll look at you, and his giant clawed hand will just pat you on the head.
Violet has no hair. She's got a little bald head. She's like,
Fucking know how that fucking feels. Sorry.
Do we know the deputy's name? We got that already?
No.
What's your name?
Thorn.
Thorn?
Thorn.
Ah. Pretty. You're my friend now, Thorn.
That's a pat on the head. Run along. Someone has to keep them in line.
If you ever need assistance, call on me, okay?
Understood. Can't help but notice there's this small little smile that appears on his face. Where would you like to go next? I mean, I suppose if you basically comes down to, do you want to go and talk to Nosferatu or not?
Yes, please.
Just as we're walking, I'm gonna be like, Violet, you are amazing. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Cute.
Skips over to the Nos.
You approach a table filled with Nosferatu. I say filled. 3 Nosferatu. At the head of the table, conspiring and whispering, is a Kindred in a trilby with sunglasses. Another Nosferatu in a short leather jacket is engaged in conversation with him. And one dressed, seemingly like a nun of old, is sat back listening.
Hey.
One of the family, says the man in the trilby.
Hi, Violet.
Pleasure, I am back. Primogen of the Nosferatu.
Violet curtsies.
Pleasure to meet you.
This
Question?
is This allow me to introduce you to the rest of the family. This, as he gestures to the Nosferatu in a short leather jacket, is Mossart. The sullen-looking one, and he gestures to the old-style nun, is Beethaven.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Two female Nosferatu give you a small nod and smile. Would you care to join us?
And as well. Would you mind?
Of course not. Any friends of yours shall be extended the same courtesy.
Thank you.
Violet introduces them both.
John,
they
as
pretty?
they say over here.
A pleasure.
Laundry will
Is
give
that-
a bell, and laundry. Oh, sorry.
No, perfect timing. Is that a Tremere with you?
Yes, pretty much in.
How very interesting. Do you know what happened with the Tremere of the city?
Would I know, storyteller?
No.
I'm afraid I don't, Primogen, but everyone seems to hate me more than usual. Would you be willing to explain?
It is a long, sordid history. Come, let us tell you.
Well, thank you. Take a quick seat.
Long ago, the entire country was ruled by one man, a god known as Mithras. He does not like the Tremere. No one is exactly sure why. Perhaps it is because you stole the gift, and he has no mind for tricksters and thieves. Either way, it was not until the late 19th century that your clan was even allowed on these islands, and then it was a mistake by a seneschal. You infiltrated the land. You stayed. You were tolerated. Let us fast forward to something more modern. A great upheaval happened, and the pyramid collapsed. There were Tremere in this city. Quite a lot at one point. And then recently, they all disappeared. Anarch and Camarilla alike. Nobody really knows where or how. I was hoping perhaps you knew. Information like that would be priceless.
Do I know anything, storyteller?
Do intelligence and occult for me, please.
Oh, now we do a cult. I see. Dang. Okay.
Do you have a speciality still in blood sorcery occult?
I do not. I do not. One.
You will search your mind, go through your mind palace. You will not recall anything directly related to this, but you will have heard rumors that some Tremere do have escape plans, but that is all you would be able to discern.
Actually, question. I got a specialty in research and academics. Would that apply?
No.
Dang. Okay. Well, apart from having escape plans that I think any kindred would have, I unfortunately have not heard anything, but it Certainly makes it interesting that I should be called to this city at this time to be tested for Archon. Wouldn't you think?
You are trialing for Archon. Interesting. And you'll see that the two Nosferatu either side are busy scribbling this down.
Information for information, yes.
There is no such thing as worthless information. It all has a value to someone.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to explain why I must tread much more carefully than I thought here.
You are a rare sight these nights in this city.
The Lasombra, friendly fellow over there, mentioned the stench of blood sorcery. Would you by any chance happen to know any way to hide the fact from apparently everyone that I'm Tremere?
Why should you hide what blood you are? You would have to lie to everyone. Are Tremere good liars?
Oh, they might be, but it's more just... I seem to have stumbled into an angered beehive, and I know not what has angered it, and so it just might be more...
Lasombra are born into the unlife angry. Can't help but respect that, even just a little bit.
Okay, that's fair. Well, thank you. I actually really do appreciate your kindness and hospitality. Thank you.
You think you're the bottom of the echelon? You should try having a face like this.
Well, I have some understanding of being hated for apparently no reason. So.
Every clan has rivalries. The Sombra hate the Ventru. The Ventru hate the Tremere. The Nosferatu hate the Toreador. The Toreador hate the Tremere. And so on.
Except for these days where everybody hates the Tremere in the city, is this correct?
That was going to be my point, but I couldn't be bothered going through every single clan to say they all hate you.
Well, I mean, at least it's good to know why. Thank you. But enough of my blabbing. Dear Violet, we had some questions, did we not? I'm just gonna whisper, she's much more likable than I am.
Of course, she's one of the family.
You're long. We need some information on him.
I owe him my unlife. We were close, Xavier and I. Best of friends. If it weren't for him, I may not even be Primogen. Why'd you ask about Xavier Long?
Zaya kind of exploded.
Never met the guy, don't know him. Hardly associated with him.
We'd like to make sure Xavier's okay. Do you know his location?
No. We might be able to find out. Might. He was always tricky.
So?
He used to have haven in the Anarch territory. Near the BMW car factory. The BWM car factory.
Could you find out his New Haven if he has one?
Possibly. It depends whether or not he is still tied with the Anarch cause or not. But even though you are family, you of all people would understand this would come with a price.
Do you like?
This would be rather a difficult task. I believe a heavy boon would be a fair price to ask, would it not?
Future favor or a certain boon?
A future favor.
I could do that.
It's always handy having an Archon that owes you a favor.
Would also like a bed in the Nosferatu situation in the city.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. A bed, did you say?
Comes. I'll need a place to go.
We make haven in the sewer. You'd be welcome.
I want the best room. Next to
In
yours,
this-
of course.
I sleep in the dormitory with the rest of the family. It's become rather cramped lately.
Tension. Maybe I could help weave that too. Maybe.
Prince has had an interesting immigration policy. Nosferatu are greatly welcomed. Many former London residents have taken site here.
Anyone of note?
No one that has caught our attention. And if it is someone of note, they are wise enough to use a fake name.
I'll just cut in a little bit and say the prince has welcomed the Nosferatu. Has she welcomed any other clans or just the Nosferatu? Doesn't seem like the prince to welcome anyone.
Strangely, mostly Nosferatu. Although that could just be the situation that we were wise enough to be able to escape London.
Dude. Would I be able to tell if he's lying?
Do. Wits. Insight. I guess it's going to have to be charisma and persuasion. As far as you can tell, he is being honest.
Thank you. And if I might, one last question. Pandora mentioned a problem with the caitiff. Do you know anything about that?
Which one?
I don't remember the name of this square. I'm sorry.
I'll assume that your character does and gives the information.
Yeah.
We've heard rumours about it, but we don't go into Port Meadow. We consider that not our territory. Interesting, though, she sends you there. I'm sure you'll have a whale of a time.
There's my next question. How much risk would we be taking going? You know, like I find it quite interesting that we're directed in this particular direction. Do you have any insight you'd be willing to share?
I'd hate to ruin the surprise. Consider it part of your trial.
Thank you. I think I might need some silver.
Where are you going to get silver in the city at this time of night?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm sure we'll find something somewhere. Unless you might have something that we could trade with.
No.
Nah, I should have left it to Violet to ask.
Perhaps we might have a word in private with Violet, if we could be so bold to ask.
I mean, of course, I'm going to stand up, bow, and just walk back. And I'm going to kind of edge a little bit so I'm closer to the La Sombra. Just, to annoy him.
Why does everyone want to annoy Lorvan? Okay.
He's on the list.
I'll go and sit at the bar.
Okay.
And wait for Violet to come back.
As they watch you disappear, Back reaches into one of his many inside folds and produces a silver dagger, wordlessly sliding it across the table to Violet.
Takes it carefully, puts it in a jumper.
We wish you luck at Port Meadow.
You. If you need anything, you let me know, okay?
And likewise for you.
See you in the family cuddle pile. Gets up. Doot, 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 doot.
Why is everyone calling it that now? That wasn't what we agreed on.
It's a cuddle pile now.
We wanted to call it the Nos Train. Nos Train? No. Okay.
I find the others.
It's helpful.
Well, he was, oddly helpful. Wonder what he wants from us.
Sorry. I think the boon is for me.
That's true. May we ask to know what he gave you, or no?
Don't know what you mean. I have received nothing.
Oh god. Laundry, come on.
I mean, that's fair. Okay. Well, I guess we're heading over to Port Meadow or something. Kind of seems to be our next stop.
Everyone heading out back to the Archon mobile?
After receiving our stuff.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah.
You head out of Elysium, and the small Nosferatu on the doorway hands you back your equipment and weapons. You head out onto the cold night, and once more into the car. Fortunately, the car's GPS knows exactly the way to Port Meadow. As you drive, heading out of the city, is there anything you wish to discuss en route?
I'm a little bit concerned about where we're going right now, frankly.
Yeah, they say the locals are hostile. We can't talk to any of them. If we can help it.
Did Silver, right? You can have the dagger if you like.
Thank you. I'm going to leave the dagger with you, actually, because all I need is silver dust, and I don't really want to grind up our weapon here. But thank you, dear Violet. By the way, Violet, you handled the deputy wonderfully.
I like Gangrel. They're cute.
Lantrade's just going to kind of like pull up short at that. Oh, okay.
Did you see the claws?
I did see the claws, yes.
Very handy in a fight.
I'm sure they are, actually. That's a good point.
Always make friends with the biggest, scariest looking kindred. Good lesson.
I'll take that to heart. I think I might have gotten off on the wrong foot with Alessandra. He just seems so friendly.
I'll eat him for you.
I beg to differ. What about him was friendly?
I mean, he was reading The Hobbit.
That just means he has a lot of time to waste. Could have watched the movie.
I don't even know if he got my reference about the end of book 1 and the beginning of book 2. I wonder if he was reading the darn book at all.
Fake reading.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps he was just listening to everyone there.
He's on my list.
Dear storyteller, as we get close to the Port Meadow, I think you called it, can I run some kind of insight or whatever to search for werewolves?
Let me change the scene, and then we'll get to that.
Okay, thank you.
The Coterie arrive. Jesus Christ, that's loud. I'm sorry. There we go. The Coterie arrive in a small countryside car park made of dirt and loose stones. The quiet sound of the whistling wind fills the Coterie's ears and the spattering of rain. The distant city has faded away from their ears, and before the Coterie is a turnstile that leads into the meadow. You can, if you so wish, do your insight check for werewolves in the car park, or you can wait a little bit.
Before we go in, I think I'll check now, just to try to be careful.
Okay. Do for me wits and either occult or awareness, whichever you prefer.
Thank you, and I have a speciality in werewolves occult. Can I add a +1 modifier?
If you use occult as a skill, yes.
Never mind then, thank you.
You look around the car park. You find no trace of Garou anywhere. However, with your expertise playing into it, you are fairly suspicious that this area would be used by Lupine.
Basically, Violet, I have a really bad feeling about Lupine here. I really, really, really wish I had some silver dust. I could make a ward against him at the very least. And Pandora seems so eager to send us here, and our dear friend, the Primogen, was laughing too much as he told us. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't see anything positively telling me, but my sensors are going off right now. You still want to go in?
If we don't do what's asked of us, though, we won't answer any questions later.
Maybe if we find this K-Tiff, we'll be doing them a favor too. So let's hurry up and do it.
All right. Well, I will let the both of you take lead. I'm going to try to stay back and keep an eye out. Rather, I just don't want them to know that I'm a Chimera. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
The coterie proceed further into the meadow, with Lantre bravely taking up the rear position, using the other two as bait.
Indeed.
They search around in the relative dark until coming to the middle of the meadow. Off in the distance, against a tree line, is a small wooden shed.
Can I roll an investigation check?
On what?
The shed? Just like...
I mean, it's a wooden shed, and you can see it across the way.
And that's
You
just
get it back.
basically all we see here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can do the investigation check, but all you're going to be is like, it's a shed.
Shed
It's wood.
there, wood.
It's against a tree
Fine.
line. And I picture you literally doing that as well. Not binoculars, just literally that.
Just like literally got my eyes, it's just my hand, and like, I see it. And this Violet and Pasty just looking like, this guy is such a weirdo.
Or you could do it cyberpunk style and be like,
I see.
it's a shed. It's wood.
So, are we heading for the ominous wooden shed over here against the tree line? In this area that I'm pretty sure has to do with lupine?
If you want to wait here, I can go see.
I mean, if we're
No.
going, we're all going.
I
Wait,
can
she
be
can-
hidden.
Yeah.
I do. Just be careful, Violet.
Okie dokie. I'd like to use unseen passage, please.
Do a rouse check for me, please.
Do.
Gain a hunger.
Bugger. My rolls are garbage.
Violet asks Lantre and Paisley to turn around. As they do so, she whirls the vitae around her body, using her undead powers to obscure herself from view. They turn around and no longer see her, and she makes her way across the field into the shed. Inside is a large, long wooden box that is opened. The walls are lined with drawings of blood spatters and what appears to be small demons casting large red waves over a crudely drawn city. Sat in the corner, with his knees under his chin, is a slender man. He tilts his head with a strange smile on his face. I knew you'd come. You're here to stop me.
Just want to have a quick look at him, see if he has any weapons. Quick scan.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for that, and you don't see him armed.
If I whisper, it doesn't break my invisibility, does it? Whispering. I speak really quietly.
You got a.
Remember.
It's like an area of effect. As long as you whisper within the area of effect, you're all right.
Then I whisper.
Why would they come for you?
I am so sorry in advance.
What are you doing?
Okay. Because I am neither Camarilla or of the Anarchs. I simply see disease spreading. And he casts Dementation on you.
Ugh.
So do Composure and Intelligence, please. Oh, piss. I'm re-rolling that. And you thought you were all rolling shit.
Aha!
Go Violet.
As you hear his words echo and pierce into your skull, you feel them etching away at your intelligence, but they are very weak. But you are aware that he is trying to whittle away at your own sanity and willpower, but you are able to resist.
To click angrily, and I bring out my cricket bat.
Okay.
They take a few steps back, and I call the others.
That will break Unseen
I know.
Passage. Okay.
I know.
What are
I guess
Lantrain
it's
doing?
As we start hurrying over, I'm immediately gonna start casting Scorpion's Touch.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my Glock out of my bag.
Wonderful.
Should have looked up the Gucky.
Show me
Gucky.
Scorpion's Touch, please, Lantry.
Yes.
Okay, do the rouse check for me now, please. We'll say you can use it as you enter in. Bursting forth into the ramshackle shed. We're just going to mill around on the outside of the door.
I don't want to go on my own, so I'm waiting for them.
Okay. I mean, they'll catch up with you. But
Okay.
the figure inside is not going to come charging out either. He's insane, not stupid.
Debatable.
I will go in first.
Okay. You'll see the figure. It's quite tall, but is now standing up. What would you like to do?
I'd like to use Daunt.
It's free.
Yeah, I would like to say to this individual, you ought to cooperate with us and just deal with our questions, or else we're going to deal with you.
Do charisma, intimidation, and I think we're going to go with insight and resolve for this guy. I'm with you, you say? Outside? In the rain? What a lovely idea, let's go! And he will happily follow you outside to the others. Nice bat.
Thank you.
Oh, that certainly calmed him down. All right.
What would you like to do with it now? I mean, you can still spit Acid's Touch at him if you so wish, Lantre, as well. There's nothing stopping you.
No, I'm just over here with a mouthful of acid, just kind of like waiting now.
Blech.
Yeah.
Tiny little dribble. Blech.
Say it, don't spray it, Lantray.
Need to get you some Tums.
Lantray, if you loved me, you'd swallow that.
Oh my goodness.
Why for these
All right.
3 here?
No, he's a crazy.
Am I crazy? Or are you crazy? Crazy is a matter of perspective, isn't it? I feel I'm perfectly normal, but you're the one standing in the middle of Port Meadow in the rain. That's crazy.
Launcher just got a little bit of poison blood dribbling down the side of his mouth.
Need to put that in a Ziploc bag.
I'm not the one
Oh,
that's
well,
drooling either. What have you got in your mouth? Dementation.
What do I roll here?
Composure and intelligence. That goes to the aggressor, who is Malkavian in this case, and you take 1. Ah, fuck. You get a reroll entree from his hearts.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Ah,
I hope
you,
you
Miss
remember
Hart.
this.
thank you.
Yay. Thank you.
You know it's
That's a neat
Oldo,
feat.
right? Ms. Hearts, that's Oldo. The words crack through your skull. You feel as if your very sanity is being slipped away, etched at, like stone chisel. You are able, though, to steel yourself from the grasp and pull yourself out of it, but you are fully aware that he is attempting to attack your very mind.
Okay. Then, I'm gonna look over at Paisley and Violet and just kind of see if we're planning on trying to get something out of this guy, if we're just gonna kill him.
I mean, we didn't hear. Like, only Violet heard his piece about, like, the disease, which I think is the only thing worth asking. Other than, like, he tried to enter your mind, so, like, you know, hey, you have full rights to kill him.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll just spit out the poison, and I'll be like, "What was that for?" You know,
At
I
him
have
or
no
in
intent.
general?
No, I'm just spitting it on the ground,
Okay.
and I'm going to be like, "What was that for?" I had no intention of hurting you.
We have some molten
Absolute
pile of
lie.
grass now. In the rain.
Sizzling grass.
So, can I do a social conflict at this point? Try to immobilize him a little bit.
Sure. How are you going for? What are you going for here?
I absolutely have every intention of killing him, so it's an absolute lie. So, I'm hoping I can go subterfuge and either charisma or manipulation. And I have a speciality in impeccable lies.
I mean, that'll lie to him, but that's not really drawing out. The social conflict is literally talking shit out. So you got to say something to back it
Okay,
up.
I can BS a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. We came out here on this wonderful evening stroll, and my friend here just wanted to see what was going on in the shed, and then she calls out in fear, And we come over here, and immediately you try to cast demontation on me when we have absolutely no reason to be an enemy of yours, and we have no desire to hurt you, and yet you're trying to hurt us. Where does that put us?
Yeah, I'll call that a lie. Charisma subterfuge against his wits and insight.
And can I have a +1 modifier for my impeccable lies?
Yes.
Thank you. Dang.
Work out so well for you, did it, Kindred?
Not very well. No, it didn't.
Llamas. So
Llamas. Swarms.
many.
Oh, right. Thank you. Llamas.
Your lie echoes out into the night. He smiles at you. You can see Vitae flush through his eyeballs. I don't believe you.
No one ever believes me, so.
Why are you here, standing outside my own haven, in the rain? Demontation. It's got to work once.
Against me again?
Yeah,
Jerk. Okay.
you tried lying to me.
So
Holy crap.
ooh.
Oh my god.
About damn time.
What am I rolling?
I think it was something in intelligence and composure. You do have a reroll stocked up from RJ.
Yeah, but I don't even have enough dice to do anything.
RJ.
Okay. This is gonna hurt.
Sticking with it?
I mean, well,
I mean, you can
got
reroll it
reroll.
and try and increase your margin, which will be
That's
less
true, okay.
damage.
No.
No, not in this case.
There goes L'Entrée.
The words echo through the night and off the trees. They crack through into your skull, and you feel your very sanity being attacked, ebbing away as you disconnect from Discord. You take 2 superficial willpower damage. And, because it was a messy critical, moments later, you hear
Oh dear lord.
and out of the tree line, a mammoth-sized monster jumps out of you. It lands directly on the Malkavian, sinking its fangs into his head and cleaving it in 2 at the jawline, ripping it off. It howls once more, and you see its bloodied, elongated razor-sharp fangs glisten with his vitae into the night. L'Entrée, you will instantly recognize a lupine in war form. Technically, he's already had his attack when he pounced on the Malkavian, cleaving his head in 2 and using it like a McVitie's snack box. So you may go first.
Okay. I wish I had my silver. How close are we to the lupine right now?
You can smell his breath.
Ooh, that's lovely. Okay. Boy, I guess with my knowledge of werewolf and occult, I'll know the only way to do damage, to aggravated damage to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna whisper real quick to, well, I guess it doesn't even matter if it needs to be a whisper. I'm just gonna tell both Paisley and Violet, the only way we can do anything to this guy is with silver. So hope you got your silver dagger. Yikes. And then I guess I'm just yikes. Question for you, storytellers. The Scorpion's touch. Will that do anything to it, or since it's a lupine, it's not going to do any it's not going to do anything. There's no point in using it. Yeah.
Silver will only bypass superficial and just do aggravated to it. You can still do it the normal way of wearing down its superficial damage, getting it into aggravated, and then wearing down its aggravated damage. But superficial just overrides silver just overrides superficial damage.
Okay. I guess I'm going to take out one of my daggers and just try to throw it at him.
Okay.
What good that's going to do.
Dexterity, athletics. And all it can really do is dodge, I think. Yep. Lantre pulls out his dagger, throwing it directly at the lupine. It impacts into its thick hide, doing a small scratch as it bounces off. Violet.
Okay. If I hand you the dagger, could grapple it so you could stab it in the face. Could run. You two could run.
Yeah? Ooh.
Might be faster than we are. You two can run. And I'll stop it from following you for a few moments.
Yeah, we're not leaving you, Violet.
Plan A. Could grapple while you stab it.
You're going to grapple that monstrosity? I don't know if that's a good idea.
Do you have a plan?
No. I mean, at this point, I guess you could try to use fire, but it's raining.
It's bad.
I would like to. I just need to display this just so I can remember. Would that help me? If I.
Yeah.
Prowess? Yeah, could I activate prowess, please?
Hopefully Paisley will put the cam back on. And then I no longer have to be the fair Paisley. That's good enough.
Sorry. Yeah, hello.
No, that's fine. Oh, there.
Hello.
Oh, damn, I'm back to being me.
Yeah.
Do a browse check for me, please, Violet.
Okay.
Bush. Oh,
Perfect.
god dang it.
So just so you were all aware, this was something that was discovered by the Great Table Goth and then relayed to us afterwards. When you do a rouse check for disciplines, you do the rouse check first, you do your discipline roll, and then if you gain a hunger, you add the hunger after you've rolled discipline.
Okay.
I don't totally understand that, but I shall smile and nod.
In this instance, because you've gained a hunger, you do what you're going to do without adding a hunger yet. So, probably punching it in the face, I'm guessing. So you're going to do Strength and Brawl. After you've done Strength and Brawl, you then increase your hunger by 1 because you rolled a hunger, rousing your blood. Make sense?
Sort of.
Okay.
I have a specialty in grapple. What I'd like to do is use the cricket bat to try and get something exposed for the dagger to go into, like the chest or something. You know, like push the bat.
Tell me
up
more about
into its
exposing the
face or-
chest.
It's wolfy bosoms. I wish to expose its wolfy bosoms by shoving the bat up here. That
Okay.
it's up here like that.
Who did you
Yes.
send the dagger to?
You.
Oh, okay.
Strength and Brawl
that-
for me, please. Even though you technically should be using melee, but I think because if you do Strength Brawl, you'll get the full bonus of prowess, and you can apply your speciality bonus die. So you're better off doing Strength Brawl, but we will say you're using the bat for flavor.
Do I add the prowess in the modifiers? I type it in, or do I?
Nope,
Just the
you
prowess.
do Strength Brawl,
Oi. Boop.
and then you add. What is your potence rating?
I don't know. Oh, 2. I have 2.
So you have a total of 6. And the
Gosh.
lupine is going to attempt to dodge and fail miserably.
Ha.
So you have successfully grappled it, holding up its paws and exposing its, I believe the technical term is wolfy bosoms.
That's one. Yeah.
Which brings us to Paisley.
Well, all I got's my gun, so I better start pew-pewing. I'll go for a
Dexterity.
kneecap.
You specifically want to go for a kneecap?
Yeah, she's holding it up.
That would count as a called shot, which adds +2 difficulty in this instance. Which would mean doing a shot would be difficulty 5.
Jeez. Yeah, I'll go against. I won't do that.
Dexterity firearms, and just fire off at it. And it can't really dodge because it's grappled. Oh. Even if you re-roll... I mean, you could re-roll the 2 black dice, hoping for a critical. That's your only bet.
Yeah, I'll
Up to
go
you if
for
you'd
it.
like to do it.
Is it the pink reroll button or the
WP re-roll button. It's underneath the willpower tracker.
copy that? There we go. Rip.
Paisley brings out her block, steadily trying to aim at the massive creature in front of her, and desperately trying not to hit poor Violet, who is holding it at bay. Unfortunately, with the rain spattering in her eyes and the general chaos of the scene, she is unable to get a clear shot and misses. The lupine, for all it can do, is try and get out of the grapple. So Strength and Brawl against Violet's Strength and Brawl. And you add whatever your potence rating is to your overall score.
Okay. Do I add my speciality again? Trying to break out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. Bush.
Nice.
Wow.
That's right. You don't mess with the tiny Nosferatu.
Yeah, Laundry just in the back, just like watching this in awe right now.
What's your hunger level at the moment?
Is mine? Is
Yar.
3. I'm on 3.
I can get away with that. The lupine struggles against the mighty Violet, the cricket bat proving to be unwieldy for it, and struggles, unable to break free from the grasp. Violet wills more vitae around her body mass and muscle, and is able to keep it restrained, but costs more blood than she was hoping to expend. Increase your hunger by 1, please. Second round of combat. Lontre.
What's my roll going to be if I just try to stab it with the dagger?
Strength melee. But it can't dodge because it's grappled. So anything you do would be pure damage.
Yes. If I throw it though, then someone needs to pull it back out of it, right? Before the grapple ends.
Yes. Which dagger is it?
And
It's a silver dagger?
The silver dagger.
I would advise that you just run up to it gently and try and stab it, rather than throwing.
Strength and melee.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do it. Stab.
Lontre shuffles up to the monstrous form, taking the silver blade and stabbing it straight into the monster's flesh, piercing through the thick hide and deep inside, causing a huge wound to appear in the side as he retracts the blade, with blood pouring out onto the floor. Violet. Violent Violet.
Mm-hmm.
You have grappled the target, so it is pretty much yours to do with as you will. You can do a bite attack on it. You can chuck it around a bit. You can punch it. It's basically yours.
I'd like to nibble.
You want to do a bite
Does
attack?
it? Yeah. Does it sate our hunger if we eat off a lupine?
Oh, yeah. There are other
Okay, the
effects
look
to
on that
lupine
face,
blood.
don't do it.
I could. Is it old enough to know, right?
Touché.
Hmm.
It will make frenzying. It will make resisting frenzy harder. And you are at hunger 4 currently.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not gonna do that then.
But
Uh,
it would also do 2 aggravated damage.
Is there any way for me to give her the dagger? I don't know how combat works right now. I did my turn. Can I give it to her now?
Nope. Only on your
Okay.
turn. It will count as a minor
Oh,
action.
that's how that works. Okay.
could I, with my grapple, force it to the ground so it's laying down, but with my cricket bat across its throat, still just
Yeah.
squish it down?
Yeah. Strength.
I wish to squish.
Brawl. And add your prowess rating
Yes.
to your overall
Let's
score.
put plus my specialty.
Plus your specialty. Bonus die. Very nice. Violet overpowers the huge creature. It would be almost comical if it weren't so dangerous, forcing it to the ground by the cricket bat as it swoops and snarls its claws and maw at her, unable to reach out. The cricket bat smashes into its face, causing blood to seep out of various orifices. Paisley! You're muted.
And I'm muted. Yep. Not much more I could really do here.
Right up and kick it in the face or
I
something.
mean, not in this dress. Could I intimidate it away? I mean, they're doing a good job killing it. I would hate to take that away from them, but...
The only disadvantage to that is it is currently completely trapped by Violet, and even if you were successful to drive it away, it wouldn't be able to physically move.
I see.
You could damage its willpower doing that, however.
Ah. Okay. Then I'll use Daunt once more. And I will just yell out at it through the rain. Now go on and get, you mangy mutt.
Are you threatening it with the gun? Or just
Yeah,
your
with the
general
gun.
voice? Okay, do manipulation. Firearms. And add whatever your presence rating is to your roll. Oh no, we add that to your result. So just do manipulation, firearms, and then we add your presence rating to the score.
Ah. Presence
So this could be quite
is
potent.
2.
So 3. That's not bad on a lupine. Your words, shouted out and backed up by vampiric vitae, threateningly enter into the lupine's large ears. You hear it give out a frightened yelp and squirm underneath Violet's cricket bat. And because it is grappled, all it can do is attempt to break free from this grapple. So strength brawl contest between Violet. I'm going to re-roll 3. Definitely re-rolling 3.
Jeez, your rolls, man.
Oh my god.
That's what I was made for.
Holy smokes.
What was your prowess rating?
Prowess. Beep. Do you mean
Potence. Potence, sorry.
Burton's? 2, and I'm still grappling, so I added another one, so it's just, I added 3.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The lupine snarls and attempts to push Violet off of her, biting at the cricket bat, clawing at her body. Unfortunately, it is unable to escape and is still grappled to the floor, bleeding out profusely. I'll give it another aggravated damage because you injured it with silver. Final round. Fight. Lontre.
Well, let me get this right. You can do willpower damage to werewolves?
Yeah.
Ah,
How do you think a Malkavian's going to survive against a lupine otherwise?
Just figured they'd die. Okay. Well, at this point, then I guess I just kind of want to spin a pretty little lie, you know. You know, Wolfie, if you let a Nosferatu get in close and you don't immediately break free, strength increases tenfold. She is going to rip your head from your body the next chance she gets. Would that count as a lie?
Yeah.
How would I do? Hopefully subterfuge
I mean, that's
and
not
manipulation.
I'll let you do this, but we're going to have words after this about what a social conflict is. Manipulation.
Okay.
Subterfuge.
And can I throw impeccable lies or no? Because I'm not doing this
Absolutely.
right. Okay.
And it's going to try and resist with composure and resolve.
I mean, like, seriously. Okay.
I mean, you can re-roll as well, don't forget. You got a potential crit on the table.
I guess I'll re-roll 3 of them.
Not enough. The werewolf completely ignores you, fighting back against Violet, sorry. Speaking of violence, Violet.
Okay. I sneer in its face. And I look back for a second.
Shall I kill it? Shall we kill it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, get it.
Okay, then I want to try and push my cricket bat down on its neck as much as possible. Just to
Strength, melee.
strength and melee.
And add half your potence rating to the score.
Okay.
Sticking with it?
So I can re-roll 1.
You can re-roll the 2 3s if you wish.
Yes, please.
Please.
Under the willpower, do I do it there? Or the pinky?
Underneath the willpower tracker, the button WP reroll.
Okay. Boop.
Reasonable. Violet takes a cricket bat and attempts to impale it down the lupine's throat. She gets it fairly far down. You can hear the wolf choking. I was going to say choking on the massive piece of wood in its throat, and then I realised, no, you can't say that, Shiv.
Here.
As blood seeps out of its wound once more, and it is unable to breathe, choked by the massive cricket bat forced down its esophagus. Paisley.
I mean, it's done for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't want to. Oh yeah, see, I was gonna say, Miss Hart's put a gun shop, but we could have a nice trophy. Like, I'd rather not do that.
Middle of combat, and she's planning on decorating at this thing. Okay.
Absolutely.
Toreador, Jesus, what do you expect?
Fair enough.
Can we
Fine
skin it and
rug.
make a really nice coat?
Oh,
We can
man.
make several coats, darling.
Next time Paisley walks into Elysium with a werewolf coat.
101 werewolves.
Let's go.
Well done for that pun in chat.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just walk up to it and kick it or something, or you could shove your gun down its throat or something. That seems to be a bit of a fetish at the moment, shoving things down its throat.
No. No. Uh, yeah, no, I don't want to shoot it. There's several. Yeah, we could make several coats out of that.
I mean, the thing can't move. You could go and shoot it in the hole that we cut in it earlier with the knife.
Oof. That would just be painful. I wouldn't kill it. Oh, bloody hell. Fine, I could just, like, shoot it in the heart or something. I want its head, though. Or maybe we should give it to Violet.
Just carry it around with her from now on.
She could make a wonderful hat.
It'll be your friend. You have a name for it.
Going for the shot. Dexterity
Yes.
firearms, please.
Yes.
And I'm going to reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
God, I wish to call it Mr. Cuddles. Make me a
game.
stuffed wolf out of it.
Is the difficulty thing what I put in the modifier?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Roll as per normal.
Ugh. Jeez.
That's roll 20 being silly, I think. Go ahead and re-roll. And if it isn't
Okay,
roll 20 being silly, we're going to say it's roll 20 being silly.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, it was roll 20 being silly.
Now I see.
You can stick with it or you could re-roll.
I will re-roll.
Re-roll up to 2.
Ah!
Turn his head into a mask. Then you could do ASMR just in your pants. That might be a bit of a modern reference. I'm going to fucking give that to you. Fuck it. Because I feel like you've earned it. Paisley takes the Glock in hand and walks point blank up to the restrained monster, puts a gun to its chest, and empties the clip, finally finishing off the great monster as blood seeps out over the meadow and is mixed in with the rainwater. It lets out a few loose twitches and eventually begins to die.
Right. And how am I going to fit that into the car?
Yeah, you got this little hatchback. What do you do with that? We can't leave this here. We've also got this dead Kindred over here.
You could turn the corpse into mush. But beat it with the bat.
And waste all that fur? I'd rather not.
Kindred, keep the fur.
Oh, you meant that. Sorry, I'm still thinking about decorating.
Well, in the future, I'll leave the werewolves to you two ladies, and I'll take care of the whites, apparently, because I didn't do anything this time, so nice job. Just like looking at this monster that's just been completely decimated by these two ladies here.
Violet goes over and starts beating the corpse of the Kindred into squishy mess, or ashy, disgusting mess, with a big smile on her face.
Yeah, it's the Kindred is too young to turn to ash, so you will make literal mincemeat. There's no point making you roll for it because there's not much drama I can inject into that, and you would be successful eventually anyway.
Excellent.
Dear Violet, did you called, but did you speak with it at all before you called us over? Did you learn anything from it?
Huh? It has paintings on its wall in the shed. Hold on, I'm almost finished.
I'm just gonna wait quietly until she's done, because I'm just remembering in my mind what she just did to this giant werewolf. So I'm just gonna like stand there and I'm just gonna like quietly wait, and just like maybe whisper like, when you're done, we could take some pictures, but you take your time, Violet.
When I'm done, I wipe the goo off my cricket bat and then point out the paintings. The creepy paintings inside the shed.
Maybe snap some pictures on us on our phone, or
Okay.
Oh, who's got the phone?
Violet.
Smartphone?
Yeah, she looked up frugal earlier.
Oh, I
The
missed
goggle.
that. I missed that. If you want to use a smartphone, you need to cast Blush of Life.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that.
I mean, apparently, when I bring this up with the other coterie, they're like, "Hey, Booble," but using a camera, yeah.
Okay. I
Just a rouse
just
check.
point the screen. My humanity's not great, so I'm gonna point the screen at one of theirs and say,
I'm not very good at this part. You're gonna have to do it for me.
Oh, it's...
Would I be able to do? Would I be able to figure out how to take a picture with a smartphone?
I know I can't.
What's your humanity level?
My humanity is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, fuck, yeah, just. How you did that at your age is impressive. And if I've activated people's phones, fuck it, I'll go for the full hog and say, "Alexa, order me a tube of lube."
Oh my. Okay, so I managed to take pictures then.
Do a rouse check for me, please. To cast Blush of Life. Gain a hunger, and you will will the
Okay.
vitae around your body, bringing the faint act of life to your dead organs. Warmth returns to your skin just about, and you have the slightest bit of colour in your cheeks, and the phone responds to your touch.
So I'm just going to be taking some pictures, and in the meantime, I'm going to be like, the next time we are near a store or anything, we need to buy a touch pen, because this is ridiculous. Why is it so hard to take a picture? Okay? You're like snapping these pictures, just very frustrated,
All right, Granddad.
It's no wonder they pay people so much to take pictures these days. It's so hard.
And does anyone have any last-minute things before we say that you retire to your havens for the day, because dawn approaches?
What do we do with the werewolf?
That was going to be my next question.
It's kind of a weird... No, that wouldn't work. Shoot.
Is there
Wait, you have
any
a
place to hide it
speciality
in the
in
shed?
you have speciality in werewolves, don't you, L'Entrée?
I do? Werewolves and a cult?
I think it would be fair for you to know then that you could just leave the corpse there, and it would even be beneficial to you, so the lupine pack could actually collect the dead body.
Oh, okay, so, Paisley, I know you really would like to decorate and perhaps wear a werewolf coat, and, I admire that, but the lupine are probably going to be very upset that it's dead anyway. If we were to leave this here and let them pick it up, they might not be so inclined to hunt us down and eat us. Just a thought, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I'll let you two choose, because you two took care of it. And I'll just kind of let you decide if you want to fight a couple more werewolves in the future.
bloody hell fine. We couldn't even fit the whole thing in the car. Have it your way. You could take some of its teeth, Violet.
A werewolf tooth necklace. I can totally see that.
You can make your own claws.
We can make
No.
you some pretty earrings.
Wait, could
Oh.
she take one of the claws and use it as a weapon in the future?
No.
You sure? I can totally see her doing that. As she's grappling, you got like these claws tied to her fingers, just like ripping things apart.
Give you
Replace
5.
the claws in like Halloween gloves with the real claws. Just these bastard wolfy hands.
Give you 5. I can do better. I can give you 15. No. All right, that didn't land. Fuck you all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you might all take pause at that one.
Oh.
So we'll call it.
My, wow.
Lol.
We'll call it here for the end of our technically second but first stream session of Oxford by Night. I would like to say a big thank you to all of you for coming to watch, and a big thank you to our players, of who Lontre, who has asked me not to give a shout out, but if you know who he is, you already know who he is, so thank you for coming. Paisley, who are you? Where can we find you?
In other places, I'm actually called Love Machine because I play Star Citizen a lot. And you can find out how to reach out to the Rec Raiders on Twitch at Rec Raiders. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I am on Soul Citizen sometime. Like I will be on the show Sunday talking about some spaceships. That was fun. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for coming. Violet, who are you? Where can we find you?
Lady.Scarlet on Twitter if you want to come say hi. On Mondays I am play D&D with Check These Out. Wonderful group. And more to come in Vampire very soon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So I think that's absolutely everyone. It's weird not going around and just, it's like, and you are, and you are, and you are, and you are. So we shall go a raiding on, oh dear, apparently no one. Shit. Let's have a look. Quick, Ken Daddy, do a tap dance for us.
Dance.
There you go.
Thanks. Oh, there's
Yeah,
someone.
sure.
So, we'll go raiding on Gehenna Gaming. But we can't go until I think the only person who would even know what I'm referencing is Kendu. So, Kendu, we can't go until you say the line.
Have a good night.